and far right type of stuff for a couple of years before this has gotten people off the Elon Musk bandwagon way before he decided to.
I think chronologically that is accurate.
So you're saying when he challenged the liberal ownership of Twitter, that's when the liberals started to hate him?
What's happening, everybody? This week, Scott Jennings was back on Newsnight with Abby Phillip in the wake of the Wisconsin Supreme Court election results. Unbeknownst to Scott Jennings, in this segment, he had to stick up for Elon Musk and correct many a mistruth. The panel, including Abby Elliott, threw around slanderous comments and false information about Elon Musk in an attempt to suggest that Republicans no longer support his contribution to Donald Trump's administration. Anyway, let's watch Scott Jennings do what he does best: furrow his brow and roll his eyes as he easily disproves the insane panel's nonsense. Let's go.
It's almost like Trump with the tariffs kind of took the heat off of Elon after what happened in Wisconsin, because he needs it. He's been having a really rough few weeks, and Republicans in Congress and elsewhere are getting nervous, and they would like him to turn the dial down on some of this stuff.
Yeah, I was on with you guys some weeks ago, and I said that the Republicans were going to have to bench Elon Musk, that they were going to have to put him on the bench. He is deeply, deeply unrelatable when you look at him. And then he doesn't seem to talk about the American people as if they're actually people. He's running his wing of the country in a very dollars and cents, like Neo from the Matrix way. And he doesn't seem to have that little empathy chip that allows a person to understand when you're talking about somebody's job, when you're talking about somebody's future, when you say that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. I immediately think of my grandmother. And anyone who thought of grandmothers wouldn't say that. So after a while, the shtick was going to get old, and it was going to cost the Republicans electorally. It's a matter of time.
I mean, it's more than having, empathy, Gene. He has said recently that Western civilization's greatest failure is empathy, which many people would argue is actually one of the better hallmarks of a civilization worth the name. And there is a political backlash. I mean, Harry Enton's run through the numbers a million times, but the reality is that he is deeply unpopular. Now, he put a lot of personal capital and financial capital into this Wisconsin race. It didn't go his way. But at some point, all the knives are out. And he's a great entrepreneur. You got to give him credit for that. He is one of the great entrepreneurs of our time. But this incarnation of Elon Musk is causing massive damage.
I'm just going to channel Kara Swisher here for 2 seconds and note that he did not create Tesla. He came into Tesla, and many of his other companies as well. But I like this headline from CNN Business. It said, in short, voters, customers, investors, and the MAGA elite say the Elon Musk show has lost the plot. His companies are having a hard time with this. And I do think that there's something about this Wisconsin race that was so interesting in the way that Elon really kind of put his money front and center. He wasn't just saying, I'm using my voice as a citizen to push for the guy I like. He was like, let me just hand out some checks, and this is how we're going to win this thing. And I do think that there was always a risk that voters were going to say, that's not how this country works, and we don't like that. And some of that backlash, no question, hurt the Republicans.
What do you mean that's not how this country works? People don't donate money to political campaigns?
No. What I'm saying is that the idea that a billionaire hands people checks for votes is not how the country works.
I don't think that's accurate. He wasn't handing people checks.
So if
for
George
votes.
Soros were to say, oh, I'm going to give away $1 million to a random 5 people who go out and vote on this day, what would you say?
Abby Elliott and anyone else that describes what Elon Musk did in Wisconsin as giving people checks for votes is dumb at best, or they're just a liar at worst. With all these talk about $1 million checks, here's something I haven't heard anyone point out. I think both sides agree that money in politics is a problem in this country. At least that's what they say. I'm sure behind closed doors they love it. But so do you think people, the American people, if given a choice, appreciate all the closed door deals, loopholes, and different ways to get money to a candidate that go on where you'd never know exactly where the money's really going or where it's coming from? Or do you think they'd prefer a billionaire saying, I think this is an important political race, and I'm going to incentivize people to vote by signing a petition that will get them entered for a chance to win $1 million, where they know exactly where the money's going, and it's going to one of their fellow Wisconsinites? Is that right? Another thing no one talks about, let's be clear, anyone could sign the petition to oust activist judges in Wisconsin, and every single one of those people could have voted for the other party. So by no means is anyone being forced to vote a certain way, and the opportunity to win the $1 million was open to everyone, even those that were never going to vote for a Republican candidate or those that despise Elon Musk. If you ask me, that's about as fair and transparent as you can get as far as money in politics. And Abby, I have no problem with George Soros doing a check giveaway, just like I don't have a problem with Elon Musk doing it. See, I don't have double standards like you do, but Soros wouldn't do anything like that because he does everything behind closed doors, like funneling money to activist judges and DAs' campaigns and finding dirt on their opponents. As a matter of fact, why do you think George Soros doesn't do exactly what you described? Because he wants to stay out of the spotlight as much as possible so people don't know what he's up to. Well, Scott's about to talk and bring some sanity back to the room, so let's get back to it.
Look, all kinds of billionaires spent money in this race. I think you guys are dramatically overreading the results. A liberal seat stayed in liberal hands and got about the same percentage of the vote as the last Supreme Court race in Wisconsin. It's absolutely true. He stuck his neck out for someone that he thought was important, and you don't win every time you try in politics. I think his electoral record, though, beyond that, is pretty good. Chiefly, I think he was one of the key reasons why Donald Trump got elected president last November. And so, in the pantheon of his political engagements, this is a minor blip compared to the major success of helping Donald Trump regain the White House. He's a great entrepreneur. I think his companies and he personally are getting all sorts of negative attention and even vandalism and all these violent attacks, and it's terrible. I know personally that he's been getting death threats. All for the sin of having been a liberal who decided to support Donald Trump and then go serve in his government for a short period of time. It's outrageous.
It's actually not true. I just want to say something real quick. I understand it. A lot of people want to frame this as people started to hate Elon Musk or not like Elon Musk once Elon Musk decided to support Donald Trump. It's just not true.
I definitely think it's true.
It's definitely not true.
Definitely
Scott.
true.
It started long before then. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, hate speech just erupted on Twitter. Elon Musk's flirting with Nazism and far right type of stuff for a couple of years before this has gotten people off the Elon Musk bandwagon way before he decided to.
I think chronologically that is accurate.
So you're saying when he challenged the liberal ownership of Twitter, that's when the liberals started to hate him?
No.
So it is true.
No, not when he challenged the liberal. You can. It's not about challenging the liberal.
I don't think it's solely about Donald Trump. I think it is, to Van's point, that he has been, even before he owned Twitter, actually, before he bought it, before he wanted to buy it, he was turning his personal platform into a place where conspiracy theories, harassment, he accused a random person of pedophilia. It was sued for it. I mean, this was happening years ago, before all of this.
You know, I agree with Scott that we shouldn't make too much of the Wisconsin thing. And in fact, I think there was a bit of a Streisand effect here. Like, I think if Elon hadn't injected himself into Wisconsin politics, it might not have gotten as much attention, and it 100%. Might have 100%. Right. So I don't even know that, anyway. So that's one thing. But I also think he has done exactly what he was meant to do. Exactly what Donald Trump wanted him to do in all the ways. The heat shield, the crap that he has done and the incoming he has dealt with took a lot of heat off of Donald Trump for the first couple of months of his presidency. That was important, I think, for Donald Trump. And wrecking, the U.S. government, I think, is exactly what Donald Trump wanted him to do. The idea that they would be upset with him doesn't make sense to me, doesn't ring true to me.
When Elon Musk bought Twitter and made it an actual free speech platform, that is precisely the instant that liberals started hating him. Then, when he defected and started backing Trump, that just exacerbated the hate exponentially. Flirting with Nazism. I don't understand how people get away with this. There's just absolutely nothing about Elon Musk that suggests he deserves a label like that. Because your party is down so bad, they took a goofy gesture he made, turned it into a Nazi salute, and now he's labeled a Nazi. As I'm covering this stuff, the same two words keep coming to mind: Desperate and pathetic. Speaking of desperate and pathetic, did you notice the Wisconsin Supreme Court race was all the Democrat Party talked about the last few days? Why? Because it's the only win they've had since forever ago. I mean, look how desperate they are. The narrative they're trying to push during this segment is that Republicans are turning on Elon Musk. All I do all day is watch news clips, and I do my best to stay on top of what's going on politically. And I'm not saying I haven't seen it. I just can't remember one Republican saying, we want Elon Musk to stop doing what he's doing. But more importantly than that is you guys. I haven't seen a single comment from a viewer complaining about Elon Musk. I mean, I presume the majority of my viewers are conservative, and I'm getting to know you guys pretty well. What I do know of people who watch this channel is that if you have a problem with Elon Musk, you're not afraid to express your opinion on here. I know I'm just a small YouTuber, but we're growing and I read through a lot of comments, and I'm telling you, concern about what Elon Musk is doing ain't one of them. Finally, another thing I've heard from Democrats about the elections last week are the Republicans that won their elections didn't win by nearly as large a margin as Donald Trump did. Again, the only word that comes to mind is desperate. The Democrats are excited about not losing by as much as they did before. That's become a win for the Democrat Party. What strategist or party leader thought it was a good idea to put that message front and center? It just makes them look pathetic. But what do you guys think? Have I misread things? I mean, do you personally, or do you think the Republican Party is fed up with Elon Musk or unhappy with what he's been doing in Donald Trump's administration? I'd really like to know your thoughts. Also, please let me know if you have any thoughts about the elections that took place last week. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like watching videos of Scott Jennings just owning liberals like he did on here, click on one of the videos that's about to pop up on your screen. Otherwise, as always, I've got the best viewers on the planet. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day to watch my video. It means everything to me. Never forget, Jesus loves you. I'll see you guys.